All right, order. Call meeting to order by President Gahane at 6:03 p.m. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call members. Mr. Obeid is excused today. He did contact me for a personal reason. Ms. Watson, absent. Mr. Ferris, absent. Mr. Gahane,
Present.
Ms. Volyanek,
Present.
Ms. Mia,
Present.
and I'm here. So 4, we got quorum. Acceptance of agenda, resolution number 1. Can I get a motion?
I'd like to add in a piece for discussing some things about the budget.
Can't hear me.
You want to add something? You can discuss, but you don't have to add anything. We can discuss that
At what point?
right before the meeting adjourned.
No. I'd like to add a resolution.
What type of resolution would you like?
Discussion of the budget.
Discussion of the budget. Can you be clear? Like this
Some
budget?
clarification for the budget that was approved last meeting.
Okay. Is the board okay of adding this resolution?
Yes.
Last minute?
So that'll become number 5.
Well, I could turn it down, but I'm gonna go ahead and add it because we don't have one, but we'll go ahead and add that. That is the resolution. It'll be resolution number 5, and then consent agenda will be 6.
So it'll be what, 26, 27 budget?
Actually, we don't have to add a resolution. I'll take that back. We're not approving or, rejecting anything. We can discuss it at any time before we adjourn, any business item. So we don't have to add a resolution to discuss anything. So no, the agenda will stay as is. All right, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Gahane, seconded by me. Resolve the Board of Education accepts and approves the agenda with any additions or deletions. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So we have 5. 2 absent. Motion carries. Reports to the board. We have a wireless communication policy, 3rd read, as you can see here. And we have our first read for our student expulsion policy, board policy 2006 for behavior. The student code of conduct will include a procedure for considering and disposing of recommendation by the administration for long-term suspension in excess of 10 school days and expulsions. The procedure will be consistent with this policy. Long-term suspension and expulsions, the Board of Education delegates to the superintendent the authority to issue long-term suspension not to exceed 30 days pursuant to legally compliant procedures set forth in the student code of conduct. The superintendent's decision on such a suspension will be final. The Board of Education retains the authority to issue suspension longer than 30 days and all expulsions. The superintendent is authorized to take action to facilitate any hearing before the Board of Education. All right, now we move on to audience participation for agenda items only. This portion of the agenda is for citizens to address questions and comments pertaining to the agenda. The board will listen, take comments and question under advisement, and not respond at this time. The presiding officer will refer a question to the superintendent for research or response. Person wishing to address the Board of Education must complete an audience participation form and submit it to the board president before the meeting starts. Forms must be filled out completely to be accepted. Joanne?
Aaliyah Hamtramck. We can't hear. I'm trying to get it in the mic, so they're not.
Oh, you can't hear me? How about now?
Okay.
Better? Alright, I just gotta get close, I guess. Sorry.
I think there's a pen or something up there, but it's right here.
But also they gotta talk.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right.
You too.
Didn't expect this to come up this quick, but
So I think you would wanna like move the mic down
Yeah.
and sort of speak more directly into it so that everyone, can you guys hear us in the back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
all right. Good evening, members of the board, Hamtramck staff, and the rest of the Hamtramck community. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Alia Hamka, and I am the proud principal of Tau Beta School. I'm starting my third year there, and I'm absolutely so thrilled to be there. I am so blessed to be able to serve this community. I get to serve them. I get to come here every day, and it is my happy place. I'm here tonight to respectfully ask the board to reconsider the elimination of the executive director of student achievement position, which is Heather Kuhnman's position. I understand that the district is facing financial challenges, and I know these decisions are not easy. However, I believe it's important to consider the impact and value of the individuals behind these positions. For the past 2 years, Heather has been an incredible support system for me as principal. Since my first day here, she always made herself available to answer questions, provide guidance, and help me navigate challenges. And I would even call her when she was on vacation, and she would always respond to me. She leads with professionalism, respect, kindness, and genuine commitment to our schools. She does more than just support principals, she strengthens our district as a whole. Her leadership helps school leaders better support teachers, students, and families. She has helped me grow as a leader, and I know others have benefited from her support as well. She has demonstrated strong commitment to our students, staff, and community. Her experience, dedication, and collaborative leadership are valuable assets to this district. I respectfully ask the board to explore every possible option before eliminating this position. As someone who has directly benefited from Heather's leadership, I can say without hesitation that Hamtramck Public Schools is stronger because of her. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Christy Taylor.
Good evening. My name is Christy Taylor and I'm the principal of Dickinson East Elementary. Tonight I'm speaking on behalf of many staff members who will not able to be here in person to express their concern regarding the proposed elimination of Heather's position. Heather Kuhnman has dedicated several years to HPS, and during that time, she has been instrumental in moving our district forward. The impact of her work extends far beyond a job title. It's reflected in the support she provides to administrators, teachers, and ultimately our students. As my direct supervisor, Heather has consistently been available to provide guidance, offer thoughtful advice, and serve as a sounding board when navigating complex building level challenges. What sets her apart is her leadership style. She approaches difficult situations with professionalism, respect, and empathy. She builds up people while holding them accountable, and that's rare and valuable quality in educational leadership. I encourage the board to consider that the responsibilities of this position do not simply disappear. Assigning duties of a curriculum implementation, instructional support, assessment, school improvement initiatives, and countless day-to-day responsibilities that directly impact teaching and learning to existing administrators who already carry significant responsibilities risk diminishing the level of support provided to our schools. Heather is the only member of our district's cabinet that has successfully served as a classroom teacher, a building administrator, and a central office administrator. That combination of experience provides valuable insight into the realities faced at every level of our school district. Her perspective is grounded not only in policy, but in firsthand knowledge of teaching, leading a school, and supporting district-wide initiatives. Eliminating this position as a way to balance the budget would weaken the instructional leadership of our district at a time when growth and stability are essential. It would be a significant loss for HPS, not only because of the responsibilities the position carries, but because of the individual who has fulfilled those responsibilities with integrity, knowledge, and unwavering dedication. I'm particularly troubled by the timing of this proposal. Considering the elimination of such a critical leadership position during a July board meeting, when many employees and community members are away, unable to participate in the discussion, does not reflect the level of transparency and deliberation that a decision of this magnitude deserves. I fully recognize that you're faced with financial decisions that are difficult, and I appreciate your responsibility. However, not all reductions carry the same consequences. This position directly influences the quality of instruction, support of administration and teachers, and ultimately impacts student achievement. Eliminating this role may provide short-term budget relief, but it risks slowing the positive momentum of our district. I respectfully ask the board to carefully consider the long-term impact of eliminating this position and to recognize the value Heather Kuhneman has brought to our district. Decisions affecting district leadership should be made with meaningful opportunity for stakeholder input and thoughtful consideration for both the immediately and lasting consequences. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Josh Hamtramck.
Good evening. Thank you for having me again today. I'm very happy to see you here. I'm here to speak also out to say I am against the elimination of this position, in particular at this moment, because my question is, I think the people who have came before me can attest to the work that Heather does and the respect that she has in this district. So I want to focus on the thing that no matter how good the job is, if we're underwater, we need to make cuts, right? So if this is about the budget, maybe the position does have to go. So my question should be simple. What is the plan? Are we cutting positions willy-nilly until suddenly we're above water again? Or has the person who's responsible for making these decisions actually thought out a plan and presented it to you, the board, of how many positions will be cut, which ones, and how will that bring us back above water? If there is no plan, then I can't imagine that this is actually for budgetary reasons and not personal reasons. I find it very interesting that they decided to call and fire or eliminate this position and let this employee know that they were eliminated during their vacation. During their vacation. At the very least, it's cruel. And it shows the values of the people making those decisions, or the lack of values of the people making those decisions. I don't think this position should be eliminated. I think the work that Heather is doing is very, very good. I also understand that we are in a budgetary strain right now. So I think that the solution to this should not be blind cuts until we make it out. I think there should be a plan, and I think you deserve to demand a plan from your employee. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Heather Kuhneman.
Good evening.
Okay.
Thank you for giving me a chance to speak to me. I think you all know who I am and all the people that are served behind me know who I am.
Speak up,
as well.
please.
No, your mic's not on. Okay.
Thank you for having me. That's what I said. And giving me the chance to speak tonight. I want to talk to you about the decision to eliminate the executive director of student achievement position and what I believe it will mean for this district going forward. Over the past 3 years, this position has led the MTSS system in this district that it now runs on. Working alongside a dedicated team of coaches and staff to build it from the ground up. Because there was nobody in this position when I started. There was no processes. There was nothing. This position also chairs all the KA curriculum adoption for ELA math and social studies that we've done in the past few years. It supervises and evaluates every building administrator through school advance. It authors and manages the district's Title I, Title II, Title III, Title IV, Section 31A and 41A grant applications, and carries responsibility for keeping over $8 million in annual funding aligned and compliant. It leads The district's MyKIP continuous improvement process established the district's first AI task force. They did the work. They all do the work, and all of these things that I'm mentioning, these folks behind me. But I do oversee it. I built a partnership with Educators Thriving that is earning this district an invitation to present at a regional conference this fall for the work that we've done with HFT. I want to make sure something isn't lost in this decision. This isn't one program among many. This position is the academic leadership function of this district. Every state and federal grant this district received runs through this role. Every building administrator's evaluation runs through this role. Every curriculum adoption, every MTSS decision, every piece of testing and assessment oversight, every policy review tied to teaching and learning, all of it sits with this position. This is the district's liaison to Wayne Risa and MDE. This is the role the superintendent relies on for curriculum and instruction and compliance. This isn't a piece of the academic function of this district. It is the academic function of this district. The results speak to what this role has produced. Dickinson West is out of CSI status. It wasn't because of me. It was the work that they did behind me, but I oversaw it. Horizon High School overall index has more than doubled from 14.82 to 32.02. And its growth index nearly tripled in a single year. Our English Learner Progress Index is almost perfect at ECE and jumped sharply at Tau Beta and Kosciuszko. Families and staff trust our support for our MLs more than they ever have in 3 years. I'd also ask you to look closely at what this cut actually saves. Next year, this position was set to be 50% funded out of grants, not the general fund. So the real savings here are small, and what is at stake is not. This isn't a trade that makes sense on paper. And here's what concerns me the most. If the position goes away, none of this transfers to someone else automatically. It just stops. Nobody is left responsible for Title Fund compliance, the MTSS fidelity, evaluating our administrators, for the grant reporting that keeps our federal dollars flowing. These systems took 3 years to build. They don't run themselves. Right now, there is no one else positioned to run them. I'd like you to weigh that seriously before this is final. If the board does move forward with eliminating this position, I want you to know that I'm willing to come back and contract with the district through this transition to help you ensure the start of next school year so you don't lose ground in what we've gained. I care about this district too much to want to see this happen regardless of what my role is. And if this position is eliminated as planned, I want to ask the interim superintendent of the board directly for a letter of recommendation for the work that I've outlined here in the years I've given to the district. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trees Comer.
And we're back. Good afternoon or evening. My name is Therese Comer. I teach at Dickinson West. And I just have one rhetorical question for you as a board. What's the plan? Now, some people have already mentioned that, so I'm just going to very quickly say what I want to say, and I'm going to get up and you can get started. But let's check the scoreboard. We had 1 attempted and 2 actual cabinet firings already. Who is performing the duties of those people? For example, at the last meeting, someone asked Jim, one of you asked Jim, who's in charge of principals? And his response was the director of student achievement, who is on the agenda tonight to be eliminated, at least her position. So who's going to be in charge of the principals now? And everything else that Heather did that she just wonderfully laid out, I didn't even know she was going to do that. And if it's no one, then HPS has become a lawless, wild, wild west. I mean, that's it. Now that Dr. Weeks is gone, who's doing all of his work finding, I'm assuming, federal funding and grants, among other things? You are not going to be able to fire yourselves out of this debt. There's not enough people. We don't have enough people for that. So now that Heather is gone, and there's no one left in the Schindler clique that has been a general education teacher, and that's the headline. It is unprecedented and unheard of in just about any other public school district in the country that nobody close to the superintendent has been a teacher in a classroom. It's not only who you hire, but it's also who you fire that matters. Thank you.
Terrence Martin.
Good evening to the board. My name is Terrence Martin. I'm the president of AFT Michigan, here on behalf of teachers in Hamtramck, the Hamtramck Federation. Very happy to be here, but not so happy to be here in these current situations. I'm a former teacher in Detroit. I taught 2nd and 5th grade and been with the district for a number of years. And I'm certainly no stranger to districts making tough decisions, whether that's staffing or cutting programming. And I was a part of a school district that thought that they could cut their way to fiscal solvency. And simply, that is not the case. You cannot do that. I have the pleasure of going to a number of school districts all across this state, school districts in which we represent. And I've been to a number of board meetings. And I have to say that this is probably the first time that I've seen no financial report at a regular board meeting. I don't know that I've ever seen that. It is the responsibility of this board and the school district to report the financial condition of its board, of its school district. The citizens are owed that. You have a number of teachers who have given up a day of their vacation in the summer to come here because this is simply important to them. And while we understand that tough decisions have to be made, those tough decisions have to make sense. And without a financial report, how do we have the assurance that this makes sense? I've been a part of a school district that tried to cut its way to fiscal solvency. And what resulted in that is mismanagement of funds, massive school closings, elimination of positions, of programming, teachers being fired, terminated. But most importantly, the community lost trust in its school district. And for those folks on this board who were elected by the people of Hamtramck, you should certainly take heed to that. This is a moment where you can actually change it. Show a plan, make a report, figure out what next steps are. Because the folks behind me deserve it. Those folks in this community deserve it. And people will ask, what do you do in this moment when we look back at this 5 or 10 years from now and say, what do you do to change it? Because for decades, there were a number of students who left Detroit public schools who were ill prepared for their next step. Whether it's higher education, whether it's a job market, CTE or otherwise. And so let's make sure that Hamtramck isn't the next school district in this state that suffers that same sort of fate. Show these folks the money, make sure that you are transparent with the financial situation that this district is in, and do your best to maintain some solvency relative to how we are educating our students. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the last one I got.
All right, thank you. Now we move on to action items. Resolution number 2, approval of invoice and check registers. Can I get a motion?
I've got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Um,
Go ahead.
Jim, if you look on page 3 of 22, if you could go to 76488, which attendance works, can you just tell us what that is? the second one down.
Second one.
Oh, attendance please. That appears to be a workshop of Title IV.
Okay. So who would attend that workshop?
I don't know offhand. I don't know if Nate, if you know who,
Can you
Title
please speak
IV.
into the microphone because we literally can't hear you.
There are microphones there.
I would have to check who attended
Still
that.
didn't do it.
Okay, I'll just, table that then for
Okay.
an answer later.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go to page 522, about halfway down. There's a $4,200 item for something called emboldened psychological. Right above environment, please.
So that is out of grant 7530. Cindy, Nate?
What's the name of the program?
It is
Emboldened
psychological.
psychological.
Have to check that.
Okay, I have
Which
some
grant is
others.
that?
There sounds like Title IV, that's not a Title
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I have a few others, but
This
this
one?
one is interesting to me on page 7.
Okay.
HQ 22 Creative, apparently we're doing some videos for $16,000.
Yeah, Stronger Connections, that's the truancy videos. That's funded through, is that that's Title IV, that's through Wayne Recent, right? Yeah.
So what does that mean, truancy videos, where do they show and how does that work?
We're in a partnership with Wayne Risa where they have us as the lead district. And they funded us to do truancy videos. We advertised and interviewed video companies and set a plan, and they went out and videoed. Karen Burr was in charge of that, who's the NTSS coordinator.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, just following up on what Linda said, so
Yeah.
where do they get shown?
I believe they're gonna be on our website, and possibly through Wayne Recent.
It's a multi-district initiative led by Wayne Risa. The project's just wrapping, it'll be all districts will play it across Wayne County, plus on Wayne Risa's.
Anything else?
Nope.
No, thank you. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lane. Second by Mr. Liane. Resolved that the check register for the period June 11, 2026 through July 8, 2026 as enclosed be approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. Resolution number 3, adoption of board policy for the wireless communication. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
I heard Mr. Elgahim, seconded by Ms. Mia. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby adopt a policy for wireless communication as submitted. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. Resolution number 4, elimination of position. Do we have any discussion before we go on this?
Yeah, I have some questions. So, from what we've heard from other teachers and administrators, I was wondering if this would be an opportunity to share, some of the plan of the impact elimination of this role might have and some strategies.
Sure. Well, after the budget presentation last week, the board asked me to start making tough decisions. This is not an easy decision, not one that we want to make. And the plan would be to move the directors up to cabinet. So all the directors that are currently under that role would move up to cabinet. So it'd be more communication, more integration with all the departments.
Well, I want to hear some specifics about, specifically, Heather gave us a lot of her duties and a lot of the impact of the things that she does. And I would like to hear what the plan is for how we're going to, if we vote for this, make this work in a way that makes sense. So can you speak to that?
Yes, well, that's where, again, we would have the directors on cabinet. And then some of the duties would have to go to those directors. We'd also bring Nate into cabinet, so he would be integrating with the grants and the directors directly and coordinating.
One of the things that was mentioned, and especially after the climate survey, was the evaluation of the principals.
Mhm.
So who would, like, say this position was eliminated, who would be doing that, and like what kind of timeline would we be seeing with the the elimination of this prior to the school year, prior to the beginning of the school year, like September is a new school year, when we had the results come out.
With evaluating them at the beginning of the school year or mid?
Just a two-part question.
Okay.
So first would be who would be doing it if
Okay.
this position was in there, and then would there be an impact to? I know we hadn't discussed timeline, but any envisioned timeline of being able to fulfill that specific task?
Well, it would have to be in coordination with the directors. They're working specifically with the principals. And then, as far as timeline, was that the other question?
Yeah, there was other question. I'm gonna hear what you were trying to say before I maybe add a little clarification.
Okay. Well, Heather is with us for at least 30 days. As she mentioned, she offered to stay on as a consultant. I mean, that would certainly be an option.
Yeah, I was, the reason I was asking that, was because, sometimes all the shifting of when you're, onboarding folks to, other things, some things get deprioritized, and that felt like a big priority, to get principals and admin, evaluated, but like also, to make sure that they're supporting their staff,
Right.
to the school. So just wanted to make sure that that was also going to be a priority even when things may get shifted.
Well, working with the principals and providing feedback obviously is important. That's for, the directors to get out into the schools and work with them directly.
And then the last question that I had for now was, and it might be the directors that you're talking about, but the comment of having a lot of our like upper admin not have like teaching classroom experience. Would we be able to have that with the
directors?
Yeah.
Yeah, the directors that move up. At least one was a building principal teacher. I believe another was, so Dr. Lave would move up to cabinet. She was a principal teacher, ML.
And then thanks for that. And then sorry, I said one last question, but this is the last one.
It's okay, take 2 minutes.
Is so to ask the other directors to to step up, be part of cabinet. Is there anything in any of these director roles that would have to give to be able to take on these extra tasks?
They should be out in the schools now, working with the principals and staff. We have coaches. I think having the ML director on cabinet is important because over 2/3 of our students are ML. So that's an important part of that will happen regardless. But it'd be a positive.
Any other questions?
When you say go up, what do you mean? Like
Go up.
specific, when you say like the directors would be moving up?
Yeah.
Like, is that like a promotion in a sense or?
No, it's not a promotion. It's just anybody could be selected to be on cabinet. It's just, Heather represents everybody in that department, so she's the one that goes to cabinet.
Because of these directors taking on additional roles, maybe, or I guess,
Additional duties, yeah.
or duties, I guess, would that at some point in the future, I guess, incur additional pay in a sense? Or would they have that right to ask for that?
Well, they shouldn't, because all job descriptions have other duties as assigned.
So it's like under that umbrella.
Yeah.
Good questions. Any other questions? Okay. Elimination of position, can I get a motion? Motion by Mr. Ferris,
Second. Nobody was
second by Ms. Mia. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the elimination of the Executive Director of Student Achievement position effective August 8, 2026. Mr. Ferris? Aye.
Can
Ms.
we use
Mia?
the mic so that they can hear us?
You don't hear me?
No.
You couldn't hear Mr. Ferris?
He's not
Yeah.
talking to the mic, I think.
We've expended the money on the
Right.
equipment, can we just use it?
Good. Aye, okay.
Aye.
Ms. Watson?
Nay.
Mr. Leahy?
Nay.
Ms. Olenek?
Nay.
All right, and I say nay, motion fails, motion fails, so you're still here with us. All right, now we move on to consent agenda, resolution number 6.
I have a question about the consent agenda that I'm going to ask every time we're doing this. Is anyone related to someone else in their position in the district right now?
Ms.
Kilgo.
Kilgo,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
is there anyone related from the consent agenda that we're accepting tonight? To anyone in this, in the district?
Is it district one?
Wait, like, are you saying for us as board member, for
Well,
board
you're a
trustees?
board member
Any
or
staff.
other staff or
so-
something like that.
We should,
Principal and above.
Janae Sackett, I believe her mother was a teacher here.
Yes.
Her mom is a teacher at Horizon. Yeah, her mom
Okay.
is a teacher, right?
All right.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Leahy. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the following items under the consent agenda, items A through W. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, 6 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent, motion carries. And now audience participation, this portion of the agenda, oh, yeah, we have.
Wait,
Oh, no, we can still do it. We can still do it. No, we're good. Audience participation, so they can leave and then we can address our issues later.
they might want to stay.
They should. This portion of the agenda is for citizens to address any question or comment to the board. The board will listen, take comments and question under advisement and not respond this time. The presiding officer will refer a question to the superintendent for research and response. Joanne?
Tony Coral?
I know that I heard Ms. Wolnich say that she wants to discuss the budget. So I hope everyone sticks around because apparently that's going to happen after audience participation. My name is Tony Coral, President of Hamtramck Federation of Teachers. You heard Terrence Martin. A state takeover is bad for students. I suppose that the board could continue to hope that we will just not continue to move towards a deficit and a state takeover, right? Fingers crossed. What has happened in the last 6 months that leads you to believe this? What has the board done to hold the feet of the person who has gotten us into a bind with a proposed 2026-27 budget in the red? Hold that person's feet to the fire. Whose late audited budget led us to reducing our investment portfolio by 99% between December 25 and May 2026, just to pay the bills. That's $14 million, by the way, folks. What's the actual plan? Because we don't want to do this to our students. We don't want to do this to our staff. And frankly, the state takeover would be your legacy.
Thank you.
Eileen Seawood.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Eileen Seawood, a second grade teacher at Dickinson West, and I'm here on behalf of the district's budget. I'm a longtime resident, employee, and coach at Dickinson West. I understand that our district is heading towards being in the red, and I'm asking for the board to look into this matter with deep appreciation for the students, staff, and all members that are part of the Hamtramck Public School District. Thank you.
Nicole Conway.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Conway. I'm new to the district. I taught this year middle school science at Tau Beta and Holbrook, and next year will be the math specialist at Holbrook. And I have loved every minute I've been here so far. Everyone in this community, the staff and administration was so welcoming and so supportive. And I came from Detroit Public Schools. I spent a lot of years in Detroit Public Schools, like with Terrence. And, you know, we've seen what happens to a district when the people who the community elected are not held accountable. And so I appreciate the board members who have been asking questions tonight, to have that transparency and that accountability, and that you came around to the right decision. I really appreciate that. I really do. We didn't see that a lot in DPS. But it's not just about this one position. The question really is, how did it get to this point? How do we have a proposed budget with a deficit and think that's acceptable? That is absolutely not acceptable for this community and for these children who are wonderful. But I've loved working with these kids and the families. I'm so glad to be here, and I want to be able to stay. I'm so impressed that the math specialist position even exists. I mean, we had reading specialists, we had academic interventionists in Detroit, but those people came and went because they were paid very poorly. And when I asked about the math specialist, and they said, oh no, that's a certified position. It is on the teacher pay scale. And I see all these ML teachers, all these people here to support their kids. It made me feel like, wow, this district is really serious about educating these children. And so then when I hear that $14 million were blown through in a matter of months, and when I came to a meeting in February, I think it was, where we were asking for an emergency loan to make payroll or an advance, I was like, okay, here we go again. This feels like deja vu. And I don't want to let that happen to the students and my colleagues here in Hamtramck. I've seen what happens with the state takeover. The instability that it created just devastated that not only the education, but the community. We lost whole neighborhoods in Detroit. And I teach at Holbrook, a school that's been there for almost like 150 years. I think it's like well over 100 years. And from there, I can see this warehouse of a charter school that takes a whole block. We know what happened to Detroit wasn't by accident. It wasn't just mismanagement or incompetence. It was planned failure. I really hope that is not what is happening in Hamtramck, because this district is a gem. I've worked, in charter schools. I worked in DPS. And what we have here right now is really special, and I don't want to lose it.
Thank you. think I know what you're gonna speak about. I already shared your concern with the superintendent and, it's under review, so.
About the budget?
Oh, no. Well, we talked about
We're talking about that, so I know that getting a bathroom in the basement where the kids in Dickinson East are located, it's not gonna happen if you guys are in a pickle with money. So can we at least move them to the first floor where there is a sink in one of the rooms that is vacant right now? And they're gonna be on the same floor as the bathrooms. I wanna see if that's a possibility. Not asking for no money to do any construction or anything, just asking for a move for the kids that need it.
We're looking into it.
Okay. Other thing is, what is the plan for special education moving forward? I mean, I've been following you guys, but I haven't really seen a plan. Just, is there an overall plan for special education?
What, like,
What is
be
the,
more specific if you don't mind.
what is the district's goals to improve special education?
I thought you don't answer.
Well, no, he doesn't have to answer it, it's just, do you help? I think we do, the regulations.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dr. Cobb has led special education. You know, she has staff that has been working on compliance and supporting our students. We also applied for Act 18 this year out of Wayne Risa that supports the district. That will bring in support, I think it's about $500,000 to $600,000 to support ASD classroom. So Dr. Cobb is doing a great job in finding ways to support and fund special education.
All right, other question is, what is going on with the resource room? Are we gonna get a resource room for the kids?
You can send an email and can give you a response.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, anyone else?
Nope, that's it.
Thank you. Now we move on to board calendar updates. Our
I thought that
next,
you were gonna.
we will, before we adjourn, that's it. Board calendar updates, our next three is here as stated, so if anyone has any issues with these, please let us know. All right, no one has, now we can move on to,
Wait, it kind of, I don't know if it's related to the budget. I know
yeah,
at the
just
last,
gonna start right now, and you guys can ask
no, it's about
questions.
meetings.
What about the meeting?
Meetings. I think at the last, like the last meeting, we said we might have like an additional one, if there's like an amended, like budget or that comes
Oh, you
out.
mean a COB meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah, we will have that once we have an actual
Yeah,
budget
so
review.
the state aid budget is, I believe, still on the governor's desk for approval.
Yep.
You know, we have some of the financial information, but it takes, you know, a couple weeks that MDE is working through some of the language. I mean, they create the law and then they have to come up with the language and the restrictions. And some of that might come up in the discussion in a minute.
All right, and then we'll have Linda go ahead and start with the discussion.
Okay, I brought along our single audit that we received, and it's interesting to me that we really aren't following, we've had disastrous audits the last 3 years. And I was looking through it because I remembered that, you know, our budget doesn't follow, our spending doesn't follow our budget. And I can tell you, what I've got here, that I can pass out to you, are budgets versus actuals year by year since 2019. And this can show you that, particularly here and at the last column is the budget that Jim presented to us at the last meeting. But the recommendation here in the actual audit is that we recommend that the district strengthen its budgetary controls procedures by ensuring all budget amendments approved by the board are accurately and timely reflected in the district's accounting system and trial balance. Adopting a formal board-approved budget for the student activity fund prior to the commencement. And the most important one, implementing ongoing monitoring of budget to actual results at the legal level of control to ensure timely corrective action before budget overruns occur. And that we, as the teacher president called out, we don't do that. We don't even come close to doing that. The only way that I think we can understand what's going on is to compare the numbers for what we are budgeted for and what we are actually spending. Not to do this once per year where it's thrown at us and we're told, oh, here you go, this is all we can do. And I've been requesting since February that we add a finance report to the board. And I've been turned down every single time. And it's been, we don't have time to do it. We can't fit it in. Maybe next month, maybe the month after. We can't do it now. We can do it now. I put this together myself. I'm not an accountant. It's obvious what's going on here. I've got a financial comparison here from 2019 until this budget. And when you take a look at this, you can see that there are line items here that since 2019 have skyrocketed. We, in 2019-20, we spent $300,000 on athletics. We spent $905,000 on athletics last year. And for the 26-27 budget, which was approved, it's $846,000. There's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for when I want to go see a sports team. It's not even anywhere on our website. I can't find it. It's not there. I can't imagine why. Why? And there are plenty of other things here that need explanation, that we need a more in-depth explanation for what is actually happening. You know, I don't really understand what Central is, but again, we're almost 2.5 times, spending 2.5 times as much money as we did 6 years ago. It's I don't really get it. And the other thing I don't get is that we have a lower amount budgeted for basic ed, but we're giving raises. So we have step raises. So how can we be spending less? That just means to me that it can't be accurate. Just like taking down the number for special ed. Okay, are we really gonna spend less next year than this year? I can't see that happening. So I'm just saying, we need to get in alignment with the things that we are approving are the things that are actually happening. They're the things that we are spending our money on. The priorities that the board sets, not some arbitrary amount that, gets thrown in here. So I think that what needs to happen here is that we all as board members need to have a deep look at what the numbers are and ask the questions that we come up with. And bring this to the meeting next month and bring our questions and hopefully we can get answers. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, so part of that is we really didn't get into the 26-27 budget discussion at the budget adoption. Some of the basic ed amount, so we had what was called 27L.
Jim, I respectfully, I'm not looking for an off-the-seat explanation for anything that's going on here. I think that we need an actual meeting where we discuss it and we're all prepared in the same way, because I've looked at these numbers and I've seen them, I'm handing them out to people here, they've not seen them.
Okay.
So give them the opportunity to have a look at it and have thoughts about it and bring those thoughts. I'll have different thoughts than he'll have, she'll have, and he'll have, but we can all bring our thoughts in and we can function as a board that's providing guidance and overseeing what is happening with the budget.
Thank you. Any more business items to discuss?
Yeah, I want to discuss something.
Okay, go ahead.
It was about the parapro conversation shared at the last meeting. So I know you provided us some information from Dr. Cobbs on her strategy on how, not why it's getting lowered, but like how it's, like how the classroom size, like adults in the room are getting lowered. But I wanted to know like what's like the justification for it, not just like, is it just purely financial? And like especially for paraprofessional special education, it's really sensitive to like, it's not like a, like numbers are like, oh, there's 3 adults in this, 2 adults in one room, and that's gonna solve the issue for each classroom. It's, it's really particular to the needs of the students in the room already. So, the explanation that we got, it was more of like the what, but not the why, or like, is there research that went into making those decisions? Was there an evaluation? Or parents or teachers consulted, like to have a teacher come in and say, give their, experiences of families coming saying they're, they're nervous about this and they're nervous about this. So I'm just trying to understand more of like, where did that specific decision come from, especially with something that's so sensitive about how many parapros are in a classroom. So.
We would have to have Dr. Cobb here because she's the one that did the evaluation. I mean, she would be best to answer that.
Yeah, I think that'd be really great, especially with, like, we've had several, or I've listened in a couple meetings, and we've had several meetings where, people have come and talked about this. So, if there is a specific research reasoning that why this is being made, then I think, the teachers who are gonna be on the ground in those classrooms really need to hear about it. And then if there is something if there's something we can do about it, like I've heard of like, oh, we're not having parapros, but we have a lot more compliance managers. Like, you can have a lot of supervisors, but if you don't have enough people doing the job in the classroom, what are they supervising? So, just, to have her in here to talk about that, where the public can ask or listen in. It could get everybody more in kind of alignment and having maybe less questions or feeling better about what's about to happen.
All right, the regular meeting adjourned at 7:01 p.m.